On to lighter news. Onto the sport ball. Onto the superb owl, to quote Stephen Colbert, because I don't know what the copyright issue with saying Super Bowl is or covering the Super Bowl, but I know the NFL is very, very jumpy about their license, so we're gonna tread carefully.
Very, litigious.
Yeah, they love that. They're litigious.
They love a good lawyer.
They do love a good lawyer. They love them a good lawyer, especially if you're accusing them of giving you brain damage, in which case, they love the lawyers. But we can't talk about that. Concussion, watch it. It's a good movie. Will Smith, a bit odd in it, but I kind of liked him. Anyway, Super Bowl. Oh, the Chiefs versus the Buccaneers. I'm actually genuinely looking forward to this game. This is going to be, I think, a really, really good game.
I'm more excited for this game than I have been for a Super Bowl in a while. Although, no, I did enjoy last year as well. But I am absolutely buzzing for this one because now, I mean, these are both teams which over the last 50 years, I mean, haven't had a great amount of success, I mean,
I don't think the Buccaneers have been around for 50 years, have they?
No, they've only been around since, 79, the 80s, I think they started up.
So almost 50 years. So you're not wrong.
About 40 years, I think.
For some reason, I think they're an expansion franchise.
No,
but
they are. When did they start? No, they're not one of the original teams. They did come around in the 80s. Right? They're not one of the NFL or NFL teams.
They're not as new as the Panthers or like the Texans though, which I think are only 20 years old. So yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Jaguars or anything like that. Yeah. But now I mean, the Bucs have won their one Super Bowl in 2001, 2002, and the Chiefs before Patrick Mahomes and all that, they hadn't won since the 60s, since like Super Bowl III or something like that. I can't remember.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah, and so these are both teams that deserve a bit of love, and they've done amazing things to get where they are, and they both got fantastic squads. But now, tell me what you think about this. I think the way the Chiefs are, we have such high expectations of them. I'm thinking undefeated Patriots. Remember the best offense ever? How they fell to the Green Bay Buccaneers? No, the New York Giants. Jesus Christ! What am I on about?
Drunk, ladies and gentlemen.
To me. No, yeah. How the undefeated Patriots fell to the the New York Giants. Jesus! Think about how twice
he did it again.
Twice.
He's hammered. He can't focus anymore.
Think about how the greatest show on turf was stopped by Bill Belichick. Think about how Brett Favre, after winning the Super Bowl, then went to the next Super Bowl, and I think he lost to Elway. I think. I can double check that, but I'm pretty sure
it was Green Bay.
Yeah. He won the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Then the next year he got to the Super Bowl and lost to John Elway and the Denver Broncos, and a good running game, good defense. And I'm just thinking,
old man Elway, baby, just like old man Brady.
Exactly. I'm just thinking, man. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers might have this one. I just think about Peyton Manning, the best offensive ever. Goes to the best offense ever, goes to the Super Bowl and then gets the fucking floor gets absolutely destroyed by the Seahawks. And I just think defense was.
And also, while he was at Indianapolis, lost a bad one to the Saints. So
that pick six, and really, and we look back at the score of that, and what was the final score? 31-17. The Colts were never in that game against the Seahawks, against the Saints. Never. Sorry, I've got that completely wrong. The Colts were never in that game with the Saints. Jesus Christ, what's going on with me? If you rewatch that Super Bowl, the Saints were going to win that. Before they did the onside kick and all that. So I'm just thinking, there's so much momentum behind the Chiefs. I just think it's too much of a story for Tom Brady not to win another. Super Bowl?
It might be his 100th. I can't even remember anymore. Yeah, I mean, winning Super Bowls as long as I can remember.
Won every Super Bowl since the 60s or something like that. And I just think, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes' decade. He's going to be back here. This isn't like going to be a Dan Marino where he goes to one Super Bowl, loses it, and then never goes to the Super Bowl again. He's already won a Super Bowl. he is the future. He's going to get to more Super Bowls, and they're going to dominate the AFC. They're going to be the Patriots of the 2020s. But
Oh yeah.
I just weirdly think Tampa Bay might get this.
I think you might be right. And if we look at some of the stats here, I mean, Tom Brady has been money in the playoffs so far. He's thrown for the most yards, and he's been on fire, and he's been distributing the ball well. And it's just, to be fair, it's been quite incredible to watch. And I don't see a more balanced team in KC. I think the more balanced team is the Buccaneers. And you can't ignore that.
Yeah.
You can't ignore that. And he's been very good. I mean, obviously you can see he's thrown for 860 yards, 7 touchdowns. He had a bad game last game. He threw 3 interceptions.
Second half interceptions.
But that was all second half. But he's been money. He's been money. And the team's playing well. And the run game's been working. And the passing game's been working. And the Buccaneers defense has been playing really, really well. They've got a good defensive line. They've got a good back end. They're getting sacks. They're getting interceptions. They're creating pressure. It just seems all to be clicking. And I don't know. I agree with you. I just get this feeling. It's like, this team could do it.
Brady, he's going to win it again, isn't he? And I think that point is really important about defense being, quite bloody solid. Think about that. 3 second half interceptions. And how many points did they get out of that? Like 6 or something like that?
Yeah.
And that's Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers.
Green Bay didn't make anything from his turnovers because the Buccaneers defense locked him down.
Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers, is comparable to Patrick Mahomes,
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Statistically, look at the season they've both had, Aaron Rodgers is like MVP, and they managed to choke him. So we really got to think about that. That Tampa Bay defense in the moment can step up and be great. Now, also, look at, like you just highlighted, the passing yards, 860. And then look at the receiving yards. Look how only Chris Godwin is in the top 5 receivers. That means he's thrown for the most yards, but to a wider range of players.
Yeah.
His ball distribution is better. He's got more weapons. He's got is Antonio Brown healthy? Because I remember he went out with an injury.
Sure.
He's got Gronkowski. He's got Godwin. He's got Evans. He's got such great ball distribution, and then he's got, of course, Leonard Fournette and what's the other guy called Jones in the background?
Ronald Jones.
I just think, and I know this was something that was said about the 49ers team a year ago, where people said, they've got a better defense, a more balanced team, and then what happens? Mahomes goes up, win it, and I'm kind of expecting that to happen again. But I just think on paper, if they've got a more balanced team, a better defense, and if the Chiefs win this, it will just be through the magic of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, you're right, because like you say, with the ball distribution, Tom Brady's hitting lots of different people. What is the Kansas City offense? It's Patrick Mahomes throwing to Hill and Kelsey. That is the offense.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that other players can't step up, but they don't seem to, or they don't seem to need to.
No.
But in a situation where you're going against the Buccaneers that might force you to need to, can they? And will they? And that's what I'm not so sure about. Chances are by Monday we could be looking like idiots for saying all this.
Yeah.
And, Nicole Ardman and the second string tight end have bossed it for KC.
And Le'Veon Bell runs for 150
yards. Exactly. It could be the case. But I'm not so sure. And I think of the two teams, you look at KC and crazily, they're more of an unknown quantity, because you say, well, they've not really been under pressure all year. This is going to be the most difficult game of the year for them, I think. And if they're put under pressure, how will they respond? And can they move beyond just glory ball, which is basically what they play, which is just the bomb downfield. It's 3rd and 20. Fuck it. We'll throw it and see what happens. And because it's Patrick Mahomes and because he's amazing, he can get away with it. But can he get away with it here? I'm not sure.
And I think that ball distribution thing that you touched upon and how they rely on Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce is so important. Because if we look at the passing yards of Patrick Mahomes, 580. Then we look at the receiving yards. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce make up for, what is that? 300, 509 of those 580 yards that he's thrown. So he's only thrown for 71 yards to other players who aren't Tyreek Hill and Travis.
Yeah, it's major.
Which I think you brought up a good point. Is it because they have to rely on them, or is it just because that's what they do and they can win another way? Is it out of need, or is it out of, well, no, this is just working. Why mess with the Colonel's formula? And I think that's a big theme that might pop up. And if they shut down, if they just do kind of press, double up Tyreek Hill, just man cover Travis Kelce, and then have some interesting kind of zone, defenses around that. A quarterback spy and Manning, doubling Kelce. If they force the run game and Mahomes to have to use his other options, which I think passing into the back. I mean, I think they can obviously win this game, but you're forcing them out of their comfort zone, and you can see that it's their comfort zone because 90% of their passes are to those two players. If you shut them down, do they have that Super Bowl winning quality of being able to adapt? Because let's face it, Super Bowls aren't normal games. Anything can happen in the Super Bowl. It's just one of a kind games where it is all these factors that come down to the night and unexpected things happen.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be interesting, and I think the unknown quantity here is the Kansas City defense. I'm not really sure how to predict they'll come out. They've played well, they've gotten turnovers, they've gotten sacks. Not a huge number, it must be said, but they have gotten pressure, they have gotten turnovers, they've had 2 interceptions, they've had 5 sacks in the playoffs, so they can step up, but I don't know against the Bucs if they're going to step up enough. And if you look at a team as a sum of its parts, I think overall you're more confident in the overall sum of the parts of the Bucs right now than you are of KC. The reason KC are favoured in this game, and maybe arguably rightfully so, is because of Patrick Mahomes, because he's a cheat code. Will it transpire like last year? I don't think the Buccaneers are even close to the team that the 49ers were. They're on completely different levels. The Buccaneers are a far superior team than the 49ers were. The 49ers were flawed in a lot of ways, and that got highlighted in the Super Bowl.
In the in the way that Garoppolo wasn't ruthless.
Yeah, exactly. And the run game, they became one-dimensional, etc., etc.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan once again decided not to run with the ball in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Crazy. So I think it's a very different proposition of a team that KC is up against this year, and I think they will be tested. And I think the Buccaneers have a good chance of winning this game. I don't know if you could call them favourites. I understand why the Patrick Mahomes effect is so lethal, but I think I'm calling it. I think they're going to win. I think the Buccaneers are going to win this game. I just have this feeling.
I just think, there's so many factors. It's the first home Super Bowl. It's Tom Brady. It's a solid defense, and I think isn't it one of on the offensive line of the Chiefs? I think their left guard or something is out.
Yes, they lost their best player on the offensive line, which is massive.
Yeah, because if you think the Tampa Bay defensive line, they'll take advantage.
Shank Barrett, and Jason Pierre-Paul, all them lot, they're good.
Sue?
Yeah, they're all fucking good, man. They are a good team. Yeah,
and let's not forget it. The games are won in the trenches.
Exactly.
So I just think it's too much of a love story. There's just too much for Tom Brady not to win it. But I'm fully expecting maybe, because let's not forget it. The 49ers squad, although I don't think they were as good, as this Tampa Bay squad, they were depth-wise better than the Chiefs' last Super Bowl. And they lost. And there's lots of factors to that. But player for player, the drop off from Patrick Mahomes to the next best player is huge, or is bigger then Tom Brady and the next best player. They're kind of all,
Yeah. I think that's right.
in the same kind of breath. So I think it'll be interesting. I think I'm really looking forward to staying up, and I'm not looking forward to the halftime show. I really don't get why that's a thing.
Well, it's the weekend. That could be decent, I suppose. Better than fucking Coldplay. So we'll see where we end up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like weekend.
High pitched angel singing along. We'll see what happens.
Final predictions. I think Tampa Bay. I'm not particularly confident about that, but that's what I'm going with. And you? Who do you think?
Yeah, no, I think Tampa Bay as well. I think we're both feeling it with the Buccaneers. I can't wait. It's going to be a great game. We'll find out how wrong we were next week, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.